Because this gospel story for today is a little bit confusing, we thought that we would help everyone understand it a little better by putting it in skit form. So please enjoy the skit of the shrewd manager. There was once a shrewd manager.
Very shrewd.
Dead shrewd.
Exceedingly shrewd.
Incredibly shrewd.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay, we know he was very shrewd. Now, just get on with it here, will you?
All right, let's go. From the top,
Yep. There once was a shrewd manager.
shrewd but completely useless.
Cost her boss a fortune.
Like the time she bought 500 camels for her boss at the market.
And what did she do?
Lost them.
Idiot.
Useless.
Useless idiot.
It was memorable, really.
Yeah, what was?
Well, what happened, of course?
What did happen? I forget.
Great narrator you are.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm doing my best.
Well, along came the boss one day and said...
Tell you what.
What?
Those two guys over there, they're not doing anything. Just let them do this game. Let them do it.
All right, good idea.
Right? Yeah. Oh.
You know,
Then let's get on with it, guys.
Hello, shrewd but useless manager.
Hello, Mr. Rich but very tough boss. Your worship, sir?
How's Mr. Shrewd but useless manager?
Fine, thanks, your worship.
And all little shrewd but useless managers.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Don't you think if you're gonna fire her, you ought to be a little more abrupt about it, not quite so nice and friendly, a little to the point, maybe?
Crisper, just a shade more brutal.
Fire her?
Yeah, sack her, dismiss her, give her a pink slip, get rid of her, terminate her employee, that kind of stuff. That's what you're doing here, you know?
Make her the subject of a workforce downsizing decision.
Oh, fire her? Why would I do that?
Because she's useless!
Okay, got you. You're fired!
Oh, perhaps just a shade too abrupt and to the point.
Well, you're supposed to tell her, what's the use? You want to just do this?
All right, fine.
Yeah, okay, right.
Maybe we better. Those two are just as useless as each other.
Well, you know, I told you we should have gone for Clooney and Sandra Bullock, but you know, it's probably too late for that. So you can just stay there. Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right, and try not to make the place look untidy.
So, rich and very tough boss
Told shrewd but useless manager
that he no longer required her services.
and called on her to give an account of her management.
Well, the shrewd but useless manager was very worried
She was too lazy to work.
and too proud to beg.
Then she had,
A cup of coffee?
no, a brilliant idea. Didn't you read the script?
No, it's the next page. It's pretty useless anyway. So-
I know, but we professionals have to make best use of the tools we're given.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so she had a brilliant idea. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And?
And what?
And what was it?
She decided to go to all the people who owed the rich and very tough boss stuff and do a deal with them.
Ah, I got it. I'm with you. So they would still owe her when she was fired. When she wasn't doing it, they would still owe her. I got it.
When
I
she's
got
out
it.
of work, that's right.
Yeah.
So, shrewd the useless manager went to her boss's debtors.
Ho, 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 ho.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm hoeing.
Hoeing?
Owing.
Yeah, it says it right in the script. Enter debtor one hoeing. Clear as day, right there.
Give me strength.
No, it says enter debtor one hoeing. H-O-E-I-N-G, not H-O-I-N-G like
Yeah.
Santa Claus. It's hoeing. It means you're using
Here.
a hoe. You
Here.
are a farmer
Use
anyway.
this, idiot.
Yes, right. Oh,
Gosh.
oh, jeez.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, shrewd but useless manager. If you've come to see about those 600 sheep I owe your boss, don't worry about it. I don't have them.
Keep your wig on, Squire. Keep your rig on. Paying your toupee. I come to offer you a deal. If you settle quickly like.
Well, yeah? What sort of deal?
Well, Squire, how many sheep do you have?
I don't know. Every time I try to count them, I go to sleep.
So, Of roughly how many? 50, 10, 500? What are we looking at here?
About 300, maybe 350 on a good day.
Well, there you go. Call it round 300. He was robbing you blind anyway. Here's your bill. You got a pen?
Yeah, there's right there.
Fantastic. Great. There. I'm going to change it. There, 300. You're good. Now if you just let me have the sheep, I'll be on my way. Don't bother to wrap them. I'll eat them now.
Thanks, Shrewd but useless manager. I really owe you one. If you ever need anything, you know who your friends are.
Might just take you up on that, Squire. Well, peace out. Good morning. Nice chariot.
Thanks, Shrewd. Thanks, Shrewd but useless manager. Just finished it this morning. Lovely mover. 4 horsepower with automatic manure collector, driver's airbag, sunroof. Well, maybe no roof at all. But, lost my spot already. Oh yeah, 0 to 60 in 4.5 minutes. What can I do for you?
It's about those 3 chariots that you owe my boss, Mr. Rich and Very Tough Boss.
You're off your trolley, mate. I've only got this one, and the little roundabout the missus used, of course. You know how long it takes to make one of these little sporty vehicles? It's not like the Ford boys and their assembly lines, you know.
Hold your horses! Hold your... Oh, you already are. Look, Squire, here's the bill. 3 sports chariots. Let's just make that 1 sports chariot and 1 runabout, low mileage, 1 careful lady driver and a person who missed that or 2. How's that? To be quite honest, the extra chariot was my commission on the deal.
I don't know what to say, shrewd but useless manager.
Just say, here's the keys, and we'll be done. And remember who your friends are.
Oh, I will. Anything you need, you only have to ask.
Sounds good.
Then, Rich and Very Tough Boss
And
returned.
saw what shrewd but useless manager had been doing, and was furious.
No, he wasn't furious. Read the script.
Well, yeah, he should be. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's right. Okay.
He was pleased with Shrewd but Useless Manager because she had acted shrewdly.
She had? How do you figure that?
Well, you'll have to think that out for yourself, won't you? Or maybe you could break the habit of a lifetime and listen to the sermon.
Yeah, okay, I got it. All right.
What an absolutely, thoroughly nice lady. Only thing is, I can't work out whose money she gave away.
He had.
Well, that was certainly a strange story. I kind of wish the people who put the Bible together would have left that story on the cutting room floor. The message isn't clear, the motives aren't clear, and there are several conclusions that could be drawn, even by top Bible scholars. So I would say today, in the interest of time, I'm going to pick the one conclusion that I think makes the most sense. Shrewd. That's what they call the manager. Sorry. Sometimes that word is meant as an insult. But in this case, it seemed to be almost a positive characteristic. The story's path leads you down thinking that you're going to reach one conclusion, and then it does a dramatic turn in another way, and you're like, what? Well, we see that the story opens with the boss firing the manager because he tried to give away the store. But then the shrewd manager decides to have the last laugh. He gives away even more of the store and gives a couple of people a really good discount. giving them maybe a 20 to 50% discount on what they owed and calling it a day. He realized he would need a place to go after losing his job, so he was trying to make some friends so he might have a place to stay after he was out of work. Well, as the reader, you think, boy, that boss is going to be mad now. And then it's the reader who's tricked by the twist in the story where the boss doesn't get mad. He even commends the manager for the way the manager tried to have the last laugh. And you go, what? You sit there and you scratch your head. So, is this called disarming the enemy? Is this about keeping your enemies close? I don't know. It's not the reaction you would expect. And it's not abundantly clear what we're supposed to take from this. We as the readers, hearers, almost feel tricked by this conclusion. But I'm going to go out on a limb today and give us a conclusion to work with. In a strange way, maybe not in a legal way, but in a strange way, the manager was being lavish. Of course, he was being lavish with someone else's property, but nevertheless, he was being lavish. The boss commended the manager for this. Why? Because the manager made it look like the boss himself was lavish. He made it look like the boss himself was a hugely generous person. The recipients, the debtors, never assumed the manager would cancel their debts without the boss's okay. So they assumed that the boss instructed the manager to cancel the debts. The fact that the manager was really playing a dirty trick on the boss didn't matter because the only thing that mattered to the boss now was his future customer relations with his clients. And now for sure they would bring him more business since he was apparently so generous with them. Strange parable to be sure. Why does this show up in the Bible? Well, the only conclusion I can reach is that maybe the parable is talking about lavishness as a correct approach in life. About giving freely, about meeting people's needs in a significant way. This lavishness was poured out to people who really appreciated, who were having a hard time making ends meet. It clarified the reason for them being in business. The other day, Richard and I went to a program put on by Pima over at Portage Valley called Give Them a Pickle. Well, despite the odd title, the topic was about how to give the best customer service to people. The topic was presented on video by Mr. Farrell, who used to own a series of ice cream and hamburger joints. Well, the way the title came about was that one of Mr. Farrell's customers always used to ask for an extra pickle with his hamburger. And all the servers were used to this and they gladly obliged. Well, one day there was a new server on board, and when this customer asked for an extra pickle, the server said that he could order a side of pickles for 75 cents. Well, this customer complained to Mr. Farrell, who quickly rectified the situation. Mr. Farrell realized that the server wasn't being mean, he just needed more training. Soon this phrase summarized for their team about how to provide good customer service. No matter what the subject, the workers were trained to remember that customers come first and to just give them the pickle. Basically, the idea is that in business, you're not there simply to make money. You're in business to serve people. And when people come first and you treat them well, you give them a deal now and then and listen to their needs. That's how you are people-centered. When you respond to people's needs, this is the pickle you're giving them. So in a strange sort of way, the shrewd manager was responding to people's needs. The debtors were having a hard time making ends meet, paying their debts, and the shrewd manager knew that if he gave those people a break, not only would they see the boss as generous, they would probably patronize his business again. And talk about what a generous person the boss is to all their friends and family. He was also looking out for his own well-being, of course. There was a little mixed motives going on here, hoping people would return the favor to him someday. But treating people well and meeting their needs will earn future business. Treating people well is hospitality. And that's what the church is all about too. We're not in the money-making business. We're in the people business. We're in the hospitality business. The church is to serve people, serving the needs of body, mind, and spirit. The Bible says the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. The good news of the gospel is meant to be shared with as many people through words and loving actions. We lavishly give of the lavish gifts that have first been given us. God has poured his blessings out on us, so we have the ability to pour out our blessings on others. God is the boss, and we are his managers. God runs the store, and all of us are given the opportunity, the responsibility to work the front of the house, to be God's representatives, to represent his establishment, his kingdom. As his representatives, we give lavishly to others. We don't hold people's debts against them. We give people a break, give them a helping hand. And when we do, it makes the boss look good. It makes God look good. We as managers, as stewards of the gifts of God, have many opportunities to make God look good. We are God's representatives in the world. You know that many people get an impression of what God is like through God's people. They observe whether or not God makes a difference in people's lives by the way his people live and act. Whether people are lavish with the pickles or whether they are more concerned with their own bottom line. The funny thing is that God doesn't have a bottom line. The resources of God have no end. In God's economy, the more people give, the more it becomes available to give. Isn't that kind of funny how that works? And the less people give, that is, the less people depend on God for their needs, well, then the less there is to give. So when the church stays focused on its business of serving people, it will be giving away a lot of pickles, so to speak. God is given lavishly to us. So let's help make the boss look good by giving lavishly of ourselves, our time, our talent, and our treasure to others. Amen.